Hello, it's Barry, and you're watching Barry and the PI. My last video, which was about the Uvalde massacre of the kids in the elementary school, somebody commented that parents today don't discipline their kids right. Now I know I look like I have a halo all over my head, but it wasn't always that way. Uh, yeah, could you see that halo? Uh, I was a pretty good kid. The earliest I remember getting punished by my mother was when I was about 4 years old. And we had gone up to the little store right on the corner. It was run by an old man and one woman. They were real nice to us. And while we were there, I knew my mother wasn't going to let me buy any. But I picked up a few pieces of candy, about a nickel's worth. That's nickel less than 1 peso. So I pocketed that candy, and then when we got home, my mama saw me eating some of that candy, and she asked, "Where did you get that?" And I sheepishly said, "From the store." "Did you pay for it?" "No." "You come here. We're going back to that store, and you're going to go in there and apologize to them and then hand them a nickel." So we did, and I had to go in there and confess and apologize to them. They were real nice. They were always nice to me. I remember I was just 4 years old, and that did the trick. I wasn't going to do that again. But usually my mama would get a switch off of a tree, you know, just a thin little strip of wood, and pow, 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 tan my little fanny and legs with it. But I don't think she did that time. She realized I learned my lesson. The next time she punished me, there was a little girl who lived next door, and during the summer I always hung out in the backyard. It was a good-sized backyard, and one day I was standing over there with the fence talking to her, you know, and she said, "I'm coming over." So she was wearing this little white frilly dress. She looked good. And so we were out in the backyard, and we had a detached garage, and above the garage was an apartment that we rented out. Somehow, that young girl and I ended up in the garage. And this little white frilly dress was down at her ankles, and my shorts were down around my ankles, and we were exploring each other, you might say. And in walked my mother. "What are y'all doing?" Blah, 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 blah. And the little girl, boom, out the door with a little white frilly dress. And my mother grabbed me On the way in, she cut a switch off of the tree, a fig tree, I think it was, and pow, 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 chasing me all the way into the house. Despite that punishment, it didn't stop me from getting girls in the neighborhood to take off their clothes somewhere else. Now, I found that there was no Boy Scout hut on the school grounds. It was never used except for scout meetings. And I figured a way to get in. And over the years, several girls and I enjoyed ourselves in the Boy Scout hut. She never caught me again, though. I was much more careful. And so I was pretty good then. And then we had moved from that place over to North Austin. And I, finished 6th grade and then went into junior high. Lamar Junior High was just a brand new building, brand new school. And of course I'm reaching puberty then, and I did silly juvenile things. But my principal thought I was going to be a juvenile delinquent. One of the time we were walking, in between classes, there's a walkway, covered walkway from one side of the school to another wing of the school. And me and another guy walked across that, and I just, there's a light switch inside right next to the thing, and I just flicked the lights on out there a few times, just juvenile bullshit, Well, somebody saw us and somebody reported us, and I got called in to the principal's office. And he accused me of being a juvenile delinquent and all this stuff, and I think I had a day suspension from school or something. Stupid stuff like that. The principal, I didn't like him at the junior high. He wouldn't let us play rock and roll music during our dances and stuff. And he's just old-fashioned old fart. I didn't like, I don't even remember his name now. I got a little bit older, and a friend of mine and I were out walking one late afternoon, early evening, down what is that street? I can't remember the street. It's, but there's a big field out there, and it was just grown-up grass in it. And this friend and I had got this idea, let's go throw water balloons. Water balloons are where you fill up the balloon with water and tie it up, and then you throw it at people or cars driving by. Oh, we did that. We made a big box of water balloons, and we get out there, we'd throw one at the car driving by and run into the weeds, Well, I think I was about 13 then, and So we threw one and saw the guy was stopping, so we rushed to get into the weeds. And they didn't stop him. He followed us into the weeds and got us. And he was a highway patrolman. Yep. I had a highway patrolman's car, personal car. And he got us and put us in his car. And where do you live? And I said, "This is up here in Harriet Court." He drove home, and he went in there with me to see my mother. My mother was not happy about that. No. And then he took the other guy at his house, and I think he got it. So I was grounded for a week or so. It was just juvenile, stupid stuff like that I do. I didn't do anything real bad. You know, Halo. And so it was just kind of dumb stuff like that I did. My whole life, I've never been arrested, never been to jail, except when I was much older. And I was a teacher in Presidio, Texas, down on the Texas-Mexican border out in Big Bend country, in the deserts, desert mountains. Me and 4 of my fellow teachers one Friday, payday Friday, the money was going to be in the bank, so we got money and we're going over to Mexico, Ojinaga, which is actually a big city, much bigger than Presidio. And I told this story once before, or some of you may not have seen that one. We headed over to Mexico, went to some clubs, some brothels, and more clubs, and we were pretty drunk. And we had gone to this disco in downtown Ojinaga. We just called it OJ. And we was at there, and most of the people were couples, you know. So we left, and as we were walking back to our cars, one of my guys, a teacher, I think his name's Steve, yeah, said, "Hey, I gotta pee. Stop, I gotta pee." And then he started peeing. Others, including myself, I gotta pee too. So all of a sudden, here's this big police band, and they're out there pointing their rifles at us. That was the first time I've had a rifle pointed at me. And only one of us could speak Spanish that well, and that was Mark. And Mark hadn't stopped to pee, so they let him go. And they threw us in the van, and we were telling them, "Marcus, you better follow us up here. Help us get out." And they drove us to the police station. And I said, "Well, we wouldn't have arrested y'all, except some girls up there at that club had come out, and they saw you peeing on the sidewalk. and they complained. And I said, yeah, they saw our big American penises and scared them. And they all laughed. Policemen were laughing, and we were laughing. And they were going to charge us $50 a piece. We pulled our money together and we had $150. We were broke. And so we negotiated that, and finally they'd let us go for that $50. And so we go back across the Presidio, and then Monday comes around and we go to school, and the principal comes into the place. Hi, Barry. Heard y'all had a good time over in OJ. I said, oh God, how the hell did you know that? But they had a good principal there at Presidio, who was from Alaska, of all goddamn places. You know, Presidio is known as the hottest place in Texas. So he was a good guy. Anyway, so those are my sinful days, so you might call them. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and take care, stay safe, and take care of your family and pets and your neighbors when you can. So that's it from Barry. See you again, maybe tomorrow.